You can rest assured of your child's excellent performance when you register your child with Janan Schools, Bombo Karule Campus and Kabalagala. Due to their firm educational background, we have the best facilities in both arts and sciences, fully updated to the latest sector standards, right from Senior 1 to Senior 6, in an environment that offers a chance to apply practical skills in all fields. That include a computer lab, introducing our students to the tech world, a well-organized science laboratory, a fully stocked library with all the essential books a student may need, a model farm to equip students with all the basic knowledge in agriculture, plus extra vocational skills. We promote co-curricular activities in sports like badminton, table tennis, basketball, volleyball, chess, and many more other activities. Register your child today at both campuses in Bombo Kalule and Kabalagala campus. For more information, contact us on the numbers below.
Who have a reservation scheme for the women, for the youth, and for persons with disabilities. And that percentage which has been reserved has not been operationalized so much. Now we are saying the women have been empowered and they need to be involved in procurement processes. It's not to say that many of them have not been involved. I know women are in areas of supplies, in areas of catering, some of them on road maintenance as well. And maybe in schools, they are building things like the toilets and ABCD. But I want to say that the women are out there who are able to carry out high procurement areas. And we want to pray that the Ppda guidelines will really be involving them, and they will be sensitized on how to get into these procurement processes. So me as a minister, I am happy because these reserved positions for women, youth, and people with disabilities is going to be a critical arm in helping government enhance the procurement process and participation of women in the economic space. But I want to pray that the spaces for women involvement sometimes is clogged because either your husband comes and takes over and that kind of thing. But we have been reported that it will be a 51% share by a woman, and then you can be sharing with maybe the men in the same company, but the woman should have 51% of that share in order to get this kind of procurement contract. So I want to pray that our women get involved. Thank you.
This group participates in public procurement. And in that line, a certain percentage, actually 15% of the public procurement budget must be spent on this group. And also contracts below 30 million in terms of central government entities, and contracts below up to 10 million in terms of local government entities must be reserved for competition amongst youth, women, and persons with disabilities. And also, you can see we were having representatives of the youth, representatives of persons with disabilities, including the Honorable Minister, also representatives of women, including UN Women, which actually promotes this agenda. So the message is that what are we going to do as Ppda? We must have this group registered so that they are identified in all the regions, in all the districts. We are going to provide simplified bidding document and requirements. They are not supposed to get bid securities, for example. They must have a bid securing declaration form. They just feel that they will not jump out of this bidding process if we are awarded. They must be known through registration in terms of the Ppda registration, so that they are in our national register, and whoever wants to pick from this group, they know where to get to them. And essentially also call upon other government agencies on providing supportive products. For example, financing. How can they get financing? For example, if I want to register with the Uganda Registration Service Bureau, can we get free registration without fee?
Procurement. This research was carried out in 5 countries, including Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Ethiopia. Across all these countries, we found out that only 1% of women-led businesses participate and win contracts. We also found out that among the hindrances were lack of access to information, lack of capacity, among others. We also found out that even countries that already had a reservation scheme like Tanzania and Kenya, still women were not participating. In Uganda, we are glad that recently, after the amendment of the Ppda law, there was a reservation that was made for women to encourage them to participate. That was a 15%. And recently, guidelines were passed by Ppda on how to implement this reservation scheme. This is, from our evidence, we see that this is not enough. And so as Africa Freedom of Information Center, currently we are implementing a project which is called the LIFT project, which we are doing in partnership with Ppda. Under this project, we aim to increase the women's participation in public procurement in Uganda. And today, this breakfast meeting was aimed at launching a report that we got from an assessment of a pilot study that we made across 4 entities. And we also found out, for example, in Barra, that out of the 56...
It's not going to be you competing with Sudil, not you competing with Wavamuno, but the advantages that you're going to get reserved for you. But there's still some more work. And where is that work? It is that, number one, you cannot compete if you don't have a formal business. And so we are now going to URSB to say, how do we make sure that we waive registration fees for women's businesses in the villages, for youth businesses in the villages? I am very happy that the steps we are taking today are the steps that we need to take to develop our country. We cannot talk about creating jobs without talking about facilitating the environment that makes it easy for a young person, for a young woman, for a person with disability to own a business and have a marketplace. If government is having some money, it's procuring textbooks, it's procuring desks, why don't young people bring those? There are many young people who are into carpentry, there are many young people who are into welding. If you're procuring windows, those contracts that are below 30 million at the national level, central government,